Congratulations again. I am now delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Gary Erickson. Gary is a Cal Poly alumnus with a degree in business. He and his wife and partner, Kit Crawford, are owners of Cliff Bar and Company and several other companies. Gary started his Cliff Bar journey by opening a small bakery that in 1992 started to sell energy bars. A lifelong athlete, Gary's and Kit's products support a healthy lifestyle and a commitment to social and social and environmental responsibility. Their employees benefit from their clearly defined work ethos that is centered on the belief that if their employees are thriving, their company endeavors will also. Their companies are guided by 5 aspirations, which include a commitment to sustaining people, business, their brands, communities, and the planet. His many other successes are too numerous to mention. Graduates and guests, please join me in welcoming Gary to this 2017 commencement ceremony. Yeah, this is great.
It's cooler over here than over there. Thank you, President Armstrong. Trustees, distinguished faculty, proud parents, family members, and friends, and most of all, the class of 2017. It is a privilege to be here with you today to celebrate the completion of your studies and all that you've accomplished here at Cal Poly. Congratulations. I've got to admit, it is wonderful and weird to be here today. I am also a Cal Poly graduate, class of 1980. Unfortunately, I never walked for graduation. So holding this diploma and wearing this cap and gown, I guess I'm finally walking for graduation. Thank you for letting me walk with you. And as a former solid C student, I certainly never expected to be back here as a commencement speaker for such an accomplished group of graduates. So if there are any C students out there, okay, just take note, this could be you in 37 years. The very fact that I'm up here is living proof that life is full of many surprising twists and turns and unexpected outcomes. And while I was never the most impressive academic student, I've always been a diligent student of adventure. The greatest joy in my life has been getting lost so that I can find my way out, whether it's up a towering rock face or over a high mountain pass. These experiences have taught me how to face life's obstacles as well as its opportunities, to embrace the unknown, to act in those rare and precious moments of total clarity, and above all, to trust my gut. These lessons have led me to my purpose, and they have landed me here on this podium. And these are the lessons I would like to share with you today, the day before you head out into the wild. When I graduated from Cal Poly in 1980, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do after graduation. My only goal was to make enough money so that I could pay my rent and fund the things I love to do. So I parked cars, mounted and tuned skis. I even worked at Mountaineer here during college. Hammered nails and installed insulation. To keep my expenses as low as possible, I lived in a garage in Berkeley. Eventually, my brother Randy got me one job at a bicycle parts company. It wasn't glamorous, I swept the floors, but it was a good, steady gig, and it was pretty cool working for a bicycle company. My hard work paid off. They came to me with an offer for a full-time job, plant manager. The pay was excellent, enough to move out of the garage, full benefits, and a car allowance. Dude, a new car? In the 80s, we said dude. Do you guys still say dude? Okay. And the prospect of having one was unbelievable. I felt like, dude, this is the American dream. This is success. With the offer on the table, I left for a weekend of climbing in Yosemite with my friend Lois. And Lois and I love to climb big rocks together and talk about life. And we always did most of our talking in a place we called Decision Meadow, a small meadow at the base of Half Dome. In the meadow, I gave Lois the pitch on my new job. I told her all the things I was going to get, the money, maybe a nice house, and of course, the fancy new car. I decided it would probably be a red Audi. After all, it was the 80s. Just as Lois's eyes started to glaze over with my description of the Audi, I happened to look past her to see a car cruising into Yosemite. It was a beat-up baby blue Plymouth Valiant. Now, you guys are too young to know what a Valiant is, but suffice it to say, it's not a car that anyone would aspire to. But in that moment, as I watched the car ramble across the valley at dusk, I felt a deep longing and sadness. Looking at that car, I realized I had given up on myself. It was as if I had gotten off track and had started to chase someone else's dream. I had made a mistake. I had mistaken comfort and certainty for success. Even though I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life or what my purpose was, I knew I couldn't abandon my chance to discover it. Taking that great job would have been selling myself short. I left the valley floor the next day in my $300 beat-up green Datsun 510, turned down the offer, and dove back headfirst into the abyss of uncertainty. For the next 2 years, I explored the vast gray area of not knowing what was next. But I continued to work hard, pay my way, and pursue as many outdoors ventures as I could. And above all, I trusted myself to find my thing. And in 1985, I found it. It was my mom's savory Greek pastry called ayoha. Think Italian calzone. I was just sitting in her kitchen, laughing, hanging out, and she was baking and I was eating. It wasn't my first yoha. In fact, it was probably number 1,000. But it just kind of hit me. I can sell these. That was it. One moment of clarity, and the uncertainty disappeared. Now I had my path. I took $1,000 that I had saved up, bought an industrial mixer, and I was off. Within a year, I had a commercial bakery with dozens of clients and 7 employees. I loved baking, and I discovered that I loved running my own business. Soon I was looking for opportunities to combine my love of baking with my love of the outdoors, a combination that led to the creation of the first Clif Bar. Thank you. Choosing uncertainty over security and comfort probably seems risky, but in that journey from Decision Meadow to Clif Bar, I learned that not all great offers are great opportunities. And sometimes getting lost is the best way to find yourself and the right path forward. And life's rare moments of inspiration and clarity, they don't just strike out of nowhere. They are earned through wandering, exploring, and patience. These realizations have been the most important in my life, and on April 17, 2000, they saved me from losing my soul. With the creation of Clif Bar, my small commercial bakery evolved into a $39 million company with 65 employees by 2000. By all traditional measures, Clif Bar was wildly successful. But as the company grew, so too had all the tensions and pressures of running a business. Not to mention, our 2 biggest competitors, Power Bar and Balance Bar, had just been sold to the 2 largest food companies in the world, Nestle and Kraft. I was afraid that I couldn't keep Clif Bar on the right track. It all felt too hard. There was so much at stake. To alleviate my fear and anxiety, I clung to 2 myths. That if I didn't sell the company, Clif Bar would be snuffed out by the competition, and that selling was the American dream. And so I decided to give up and to get out while the getting was good. And I put Clif Bar on the block, and within a few months, we had an offer for $120 million. More money than I could ever spend. Enough money to get lost on a bike or on a rock or in the backcountry for a lifetime. I would never have to work another day in my life. I tried to imagine the comfort and security of all that money melting the stress and tension away. Remember, I started the business on $1,000. Now all I had to do was drive to San Francisco and sign the papers, and millions of dollars would be wired directly into my bank account. But as I stood in the Berkeley office getting ready to go, I started to have what I now know was a panic attack. I told my team I needed to walk around the block. When I got in the parking lot, I wept. The thing was, Clif Bar was never about the money. It was always about finding my thing, and selling it was selling out and selling myself short. I knew I had more to do, and that Clif Bar had more to do. And once again, even though I didn't know exactly what that was, I knew that I couldn't abandon my chance to discover it. For the record, my wife, Kit, who is here today, somewhere out there, never wanted to sell or believed we needed to sell the company. She was right. I walked back into the office and told over the phone the lawyers and the corporate execs to go home, that I wasn't going to sell. I was instantly free. Today, 17 years later, Cliff Bar remains privately held, is a family and employee-owned business. We are a thriving business. We exist to run a different kind of company, one in which our success contributes to positive impact in the world, supporting people, communities, and the planet. Every day, Kit and I wake up inspired by what we will do next, whether it's creating another great product that people love, or working to create a healthy, just, sustainable food system, or supporting the community through tens of thousands of volunteer hours. It is through these accomplishments that I measure success. And I'm surrounded by the most incredible, creative, adventure-loving people, over a dozen of which are proud Cal Poly Mustangs. One of them is here today, our Chief Financial Officer, Rich Barano. For me, it almost took losing everything and walking away from $120 million to find my American dream, to keep my soul, and to find my happiness. No matter how certain or uncertain your path feels today, like mine, it is a journey that will unfold through incredible opportunities, abundant stretches of being completely lost, and a smattering of defining moments. It is also a path that has never been traveled before, and that will never be traveled again, because it will be navigated only by you and you alone, through your choices, guided by your passions and interests, and it will be illuminated by your discoveries. Tomorrow, many well-intentioned people, a relative or family friend, or for me, it was my Uncle John, will ask you, what's next? Do you have a job? What are you going to do with that degree? You do not owe them certainty. Rather, you owe yourself opportunities to get lost, so that you may continue to explore, so that you may continue to find yourself, your purpose, and your happiness. And you will know when you have found it, not by the prestige of your title, or the dollars in your bank account, or the comfort of your home, or the nice car that you are driving, even if it is a red Audi, but by the hunger that you feel to do more, to create more, and to contribute more to the world. So tomorrow, when your Uncle John asks, hey kid, what's next? You can tell him what I told my Uncle John. I don't know. I'm gonna get lost. Trust my gut and see what happens. Congratulations, Mustangs. Thank you.